Nighttime dips. This is when the blood pressure drops 10 to 20% when you sleep during the night. So this is part two, actually part two. And so on this video, we're going to talk specifically on what happens in your arteries because your heart is not getting the rest that it needs. All right, so the first impact that it's going to have is endothelial injuries. When the blood pressure just keeps, on pumping the same thing without relaxing at all and keeps on going and going and going and going and going, the inside of your arteries are going to get that pressure all the time, okay? So it will actually damage the inside of your blood vessels. The second thing that it's going to do, actually, it's going to create more inflammation into your arteries. And I have to say, I could talk hours about this. When you keep the blood pressure going, it will increase your inflammation. And the third thing is stiffness. The arteries are going to lose their elasticities. So when you lose the elasticity, that's going to put a whole lot more pressure on your heart. Because if you remember, I explained the blood pressure in one of the last videos, and I took actually a garden hose to explain it. And this is actually coming back here. But, like the garden hose, like really quickly, the garden hose, it's rubber. So when you open up the tap, it absorbs the pressure, right? So at the end of your hose, the pressure is not going to be as high as, let's say, your tubing or your hose is made out of steel. So obviously, because there's no flexibility in your garden hose, when you open up the tap, the pressure at the end will be a whole lot more higher than the garden hose with the rubber hose. Does that make sense? So someone that does not have that nighttime dip during the night, so the heart is the heart is not resting as much, but also all your bloodstream. So it will create some stiffness as well. And the fourth thing that it does to your body is actually plaque formation. Again, just recently, I did a whole video on how inflamed arteries are more likely to develop unstable plaque. And as we all know now, unstable plaque is much higher risk of a heart attack. So this is getting along. So there will be a part 3 for the rest of all this information. And in part 3, I'm going to talk about how your heart will be affected when you're not resting or you don't have that nighttime dip during the night. All right? So I know you've got this. Till the next one. Doodle.